Hey Scrappers, it's Vanessa here with a new process video using the stash kit that I created. If you're new to my channel, make sure you stop over and watch the In the Mood stash busting video. That'll show you the mood board I created and all the things that I pulled from my kit. First thing I'm doing here is just showing you everything that I pulled from that kit that I planned to or was thinking I might use on this layout. And so the next thing here I'm going to do is show you this floral paper that I pulled. I actually knew when I pulled it that I wanted to fussy cut those flowers, and so I did that off camera. Next up is my mixed media. I am going to just add a little bit of mixed media here to the background of this layout. I'm taking that piece of pink pattern paper, and it actually has sort of a linen texture to it, so it takes the mixed media really well. I did not prep anything on this page. I'm not using a whole lot of water. I'm really just taking the gelato and using the heat from my hand to just rub that color in, and when you first look at it, it does look like it's just big blobs of color, and it doesn't look very good, but the good thing about mixed media is a lot of this gets covered up, and in the end it actually looks really nice. I like how it turned out. For this layout, I knew that I wanted to have embellishment in a diagonal sort of design, and so I knew that I wanted to just put color or a little bit of something extra in the background on the bottom left and the top right, which is what I did. Next, I took some of the numbers from my, I think it was Heidi Swap stickers or thickers that I pulled for this kit, and I just took some of that gelato and again just colored those. They're the ones that allow you to color them, and they have just a light stripe that stays white. The next thing that I did was I took that script stamp, which is a really old stamp. I believe it was from Prima years ago, and it's just a little script stamp that I really like. It just adds some nice detail in the background, and I took that orange soda Hero Arts ink, and I just went ahead and put that as a bit of extra detail to the background. And I'm just going to take here and my paintbrush and a little bit more gelato and just make some splatters just to add to the background. Like I said, a lot of this will get covered up, so I do like what this adds to the background. When you see the final pictures at the end, it just adds something so that the background doesn't stay completely plain once all the embellishing goes on top of it. So once I did that, I just sort of dried everything up and moved on, and I showed you just really quickly. Here's what it looks like. I glued my pink paper to my darker pink solid cardstock just to give it a little bit more weight. I do that with most of my layouts. The next thing that I do here is grab my 3 photos, which is different for me. I'm usually a 1 photo layout scrapper, but in this case I am using 3, and the 3 pictures are from a trip to the American Girl doll store that I took with my daughter on January 1st of 2016. We drove up, which the American Girl doll store is about an hour and 45 minutes away from us, so that meant getting up pretty early on January 1st and driving up to Orlando. We wanted to get there before the store opened, so that first picture is actually of us standing in line outside of the store before it opened, and we were pretty good. We weren't too far back in line. There was quite a few people behind us, so we got there in plenty of time. The second photo, while I'm matting these up first on that tissue paper, that second photo is just a photo I took of us standing in line to pay, and I took a photo of just all the people in the store that were also lined up to pay. And the third one is just a picture of my daughter in the car. She's holding up the Leah book and very excited to have her Girl of the Year. So the first thing, like I said, I matted those photos on the tissue paper that I pulled, which was that pink polka dot. Now I'm going to take this orange cardstock. It's a deep orange. and I knew that the accent color that I wanted to use for this layout was that orange, and so I pulled in this cardstock. That will be my second layer for my photos. So I'm just getting that all lined up, gluing that down. Then I am going to take this purple, and it's sort of like a tribal pattern, I guess you could call it, purple paper. I believe that is from a Heidi Swap paper pad. And I'm going to measure that up, and that is going to be the third layer for my photo mats. Once I get that all measured up, I am going to then glue my photos down to that. And I know that my photos are going to go there in the middle of this layout so that they are right in the center of my diagonal design. So here I'm going to get those glued down. And once I do that, I am going to, I had pulled, if you remember at the beginning, it was kind of fast to see, but I had actually pulled also 2 6x6 paper pads, or 2 6x6 pieces of pattern paper, and I had thought I was going to use those. There they are right there. I end up not using those, so those you see, I'm thinking about it and they're going to go off to the side, and I'm actually not going to use those, but I am very happily going to use my super duper cute pink pom-pom trim. I am slightly obsessed with pom-pom trim currently, and so this was the perfect layout to put my pom-pom trim on, because it's, you know, dolls, American Girl dolls, and you know, you can't go wrong with a girly page with pink, hot pink at that pom-pom trim. And I like the extra texture that this gives to the bottom of my photos. I really think it just adds just a playful feel to this layout. And it was really funny because the American Girl Doll of the Year, Leah, actually her outfit was a lot of this pink and orange combination was the majority of her outfit. She had a couple other colors in there, but that was 2 of the main colors in her outfit. And so this kind of went perfectly. I hadn't planned which photos I was going to use when I pulled my kit, but when I went through my stack of photos and I saw these, I realized this would be the perfect layout to do the purple and orange combo that I had planned to use for one of my layouts this month. And so I am doing that here, and once I put that pom-pom trim down, I started on my 2 clusters, which are up in each corner, or one in the right hand corner and one in the left bottom. My camera actually cut out, so you didn't see me lay most of that out, but I did lay it out so I could get an idea of where I wanted everything to go. And then I did mark with my pencil where my photos were, so that I could lay them back down exactly where I had them. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. My camera, for some reason on this video, did cut out a couple of times, so it does kind of get chopped in a couple of places, but for the most part, I was able to capture the majority of my process. And that tag that I put in behind my photos, that is where my journaling is going to go at the end. I will not do that on camera, but that will eventually house my journaling. So my camera there did cut out again, but all you missed was me gluing my cluster that I put on that middle photo. Just has a heart, and then some florals and a wooden button and a puffy heart. That wooden button, that pink glitter heart, and that puffy heart are all elements that will be in each of the clusters. I like to sort of make sure that my clusters carry some consistency, so they all have obviously the florals and then those 3 elements all the way throughout. And then next here you just see me down at my left bottom cluster doing the same thing. The top and bottom cluster here also include one of these little cameras that I actually cut from a piece of Amy Tan paper from a very old collection of hers. And so those are in the top and bottom clusters as well. So I'm just placing that heart, and I'm going to go ahead and place the puffy heart as well as the epoxy wooden button. And that puffy heart and the epoxy wooden button are also, they're both from, I believe, a Dear Lizzie collection. I don't remember which one. It was an old one. So I'm very happy to get used up since they have been in my stash for quite a while. So next goes on my title, which would kind of, for some, if you didn't know what this was, would look kind of funny, but I just, instead of writing out American Girl, I just abbreviated it to AG. And the doll's name for that year, for 2016, was Leah. So I just called it AG Leah, or American Girl Leah 2016. And so after I get that title down, I've jumped up here now to my top right cluster. And I'm going to do the same thing again, just glue everything down and add in the elements that I've been keeping consistent throughout this layout, which is the camera for these top and bottom cluster, the pink sparkly heart. You're going to see the pink puffy heart come in, as well as the wood epoxy button will also be up there in that cluster. And once I get that down, I am going to I did cut from that pattern paper also some of the little tiny flowers, so I'm going to lay those out where I want those to go as well. I don't glue those down on camera, but they will get glued down in the end. Then to finish it off, instead of using enameled dots, I did go ahead and pull the sequins, and I'm going to take out the lighter purpley pink color and the orange sequins and place those throughout the 2 or 3 clusters in this case. I will not make you watch me glue sequins onto the page, but I will kind of place them so you'll see where I'm intending for them to go. So I'm going to put some up here or down here at the bottom left and some up at the right, and then I put 3 in that middle cluster that is on my photo. Once I get those in place, I am going to, here in a second, take and put some twine in my tag, which, like I said before, is going to house my journaling. Once the camera is off, I will add my journaling and glue down those sequins. And the only other thing I do is add my date. And I did go back and add 2 words from a chipboard sheet. And so those will be in the final photos. Thanks for watching, everyone. And here is the final photos. And I will catch you guys on the next video. Bye-bye.